I woke up this morning feeling pretty fine. Got a little secret gonna blow your mind. In the corner of my room, where the lights are dim, got a little buddy and he's one cool chameleon. He's got reds and yellows and greens. Oh my, blending in with the colors, catching all eyes. He changes with the mood like a living disguise. Got a chameleon friend, the ultimate prize. Keeping chameleons, it's so much fun. Watching them change in the summer sun. The colorful companions always by my side. Keeping chameleons, it's a colorful ride.
Every Chameleon Academy, where colors unfold. I learned about chameleons, how the stories are told. With curiosity in my heart, I walk through the door, ready to discover, ready to explore. Met some friends that day, their love was shining bright. Eyes filled with wonder, hearts like dynamite. We bonded over chameleons, they were just like me. Passion in our souls, a connected melody. Learn, understand, pass it on. Chameleon love from dusk till dawn. The Chameleon Academy, we're all family strong. Embracing the motto where we all belong. Investing in the motto where we all belong. Oh, investing in the motto where we all belong.
What the heck is going on over there? Hello, good Saturday, everybody in the Chameleon Academy out there, ready to have a good chameleon-filled day. And I love that clip from Madagascar. I just love letting that play. Oh yes, yes, Howard. Those are lemurs. Those are lemurs having a grand old time in the background. I have no idea what would happen, but when you're in Madagascar and you have all these lemurs around, they're a family, and you have these family groups. And all of a sudden, somebody goes off, and the rest of them just go off too, and they just have this hubbubaloo. And then all of a sudden, everything settles down, and they just kind of sit back and sit in the trees. It's like, oh, this is funny. So it's a lot of fun. And so let's see. Okay, people asking about those songs. I created them using the wonderful tools of artificial intelligence. And so, yeah, it can be used for good. So I'm having a fun time with it. Bill got a haircut. Absolutely correct. I did, because it was getting in the way. And as I wait until the last minute. I do not like getting haircuts. It just takes so much time out of my day, but I'm forced to, when the hair gets in my eyes and won't get out, it's a problem. So, let's see. Jacob, our panther chameleon just hatched last night. Is it possible to put in too much food in the cage? Jacob, yeah, it's always possible to overdo it. In this situation, it's not possible to overfeed them, but it's possible to put so much food in the cage that the food actually crawls over the babies and freaks the babies out and scares the babies. And you do have to be careful about that, because that actually will scar a baby, and sometimes they won't eat because they were scared of something. Like if you just put all of a sudden a complete massive wave of fruit flies or crickets that just swarm the branch and swarm the chameleon, he's going to freak out. So that actually is a real thing. And so you can overdo it, but you don't have to worry about them overeating as babies. So I just put in enough that you're pretty sure that they've got food available to them. For a baby, if you're talking about a hatchling, just get a little deli cup. That can you see? And just put a bunch of banana mash in it, and put your fruit flies on your flightless fruit flies on there. And when you have it out, especially around this time of year, the wild fruit flies will start to congregate. And what you're going to have is this little cup where fruit flies are just hanging all around, and just make sure that there's sticks around the perimeter that the chameleon can walk on and climb on. And you've got a little potluck smorgasbord down there for the chameleon whenever he wants to eat. They're there, and the fruit flies don't want to go away from the fruit mash. That's what they do in life. That's all they care about in life, is finding the fruit mash. And so if you give them the fruit mash, they're not interested in escaping out of the cage. They're not interested in going for walks and looking for chameleons to harass. No, they're just going to sit there on the fruit cup, and it's a perfect situation. Now you want to get them onto crickets as soon as possible, because crickets will really put weight onto the baby, and that's what you want. And you can get pinhead crickets, so you can start feeding them now. It just gets pretty expensive, and fruit flies can be free if you're living in the right area. But congratulations. Oh goodness, no more Elon stuff. I get that on YouTube all the time. I get these, oh, you look like Elon Musk. It's like, come on, guys. I'm older than he is. He looks like me. That's right. How's the fruit flies population going in your household? Miss your Tuesday fruit fly live. Oh, yeah, Sunday. Yeah, on Sunday I used to do live sessions where I would just do fruit flies. I'm having to become disciplined. And now that I've got babies, although yes, this is new for everybody, new news for everybody. My little baby brevicorns, I saw them eat for the first time. I mean, I see poop, and they're alive, so I know that they're okay, but I would never see that. They would never eat in front of me. 2 days ago, first time I got to see one eat, and he ate a 1 week cricket. So these guys are now graduating, and I am very happy to graduate them to 1 week crickets. And hopefully I can now get some footage, some videos of them eating. They're my little babies, my little baby brevicorns, the things that we watched. For anybody wondering what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the little babies. I would always show these eggs during the live sessions. They hatched. They actually hatched during a live session, which was very interesting. So very excited about that progress. And I'm looking forward to bringing a video, and I will bring it to one of these lives as soon as I get one. Very excited. I love babies. I love the hatchling chameleons. And so I'm going to be working on, many of you know, I've got this thing really working on the idea of small batch breeding, where we treat babies, the baby stage, not just as a stage that we get through as fast as possible so we can get them to the new homes, but a stage that we really appreciate and we invest in and we focus in on these 3 to 6 months. I think it's a shame that the community, we've generally hurried through those months, and we haven't appreciated those months in their entirety. It's just like the puppy stage, the kitten stage, the baby stage. They go so quickly, and you want to enjoy every single minute of it. And I know it's, wait a minute, why would I invest in something that I'm only going to use for a couple of months? And I understand that. But I'd also like to talk about why we're doing this. I am doing this because I absolutely love the experience. And I want to at least present to the community a different approach to the baby months of this is one of the most special times of a chameleon's life. And I know there's a lot of controversy here. Um, and as to when it's appropriate, I don't like the sale of eggs the way it's done. It's just not. I mean, when I first heard about the sale of eggs, I was, oh wow, this is great because they can get the eggs and then they can spend 3 to 6 months preparing and researching. That's not what happens. I get people coming to me and say, hey, my egg hatched. How do I take care of a chameleon? It's like, this isn't working. This isn't working. Oh, no, I don't want to spend all that for a baby. No, wait a minute. If you're going to get a baby, you are doubling the cost. Maybe not doubling, but it's going to cost more if you want to do it right. If you just want to have a baby and then blow through the baby months to get to the juvenile, you just get the juvenile. It's not, if you do it right, it's going to be more expensive. But anyway, I'm working through that right now. I know people are going to run away and say, hey, Bill wants to sell hatchling chameleons. No, that's not the case. But I am dealing with an actual situation where people have hatchling chameleons. We've got someone here who just, Jacob. Was it Jacob? Did I get remember the name right? Jacob, yes, Jacob's got it. So yeah. And at least Jacob's in the right place to learn about this. So many people aren't. So there's a lot of things we've got to work out, but I really want to focus on providing the resources for people who want to focus on the hatchling stage of a chameleon and celebrate it, not just get through it. I just love the baby stage. So you know what? I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna lean into it. So, I want a baby. Gonna trigger my baby. Yeah. Well, we also need to be very careful because it's really my reason for going into this is because in my long-term vision for the chameleon community, I want to start small batch breeding to where we breed, but we only care for about 6 to 12 babies at most. And that way we can treat them with luxury. And that requires a network of people and essentially professional baby raisers, professional hatchling raisers. If you've got people in your network that you can send eggs, hatchlings, whatever, whatever we work out, however we work that out, but to people who that is what they do. That is what they love to do. In fact, that's what I would love to do. After I get this whole thing set up and I retire from active rabble rousing, I'm going to be a professional baby raiser for some breeders out there who want to breed Parsons or whatever rare chameleons are out there. You just send me the babies. I'm going to raise them, let you sell them. I'll ship them, but you sell them. And I'm just going to spend my later years, my golden years, raising chameleon hatchlings and not dealing with anybody. So that's my vision for myself. And I need to establish the entire community structure to allow me to retire the way I want to. So yes, that's my selfish reason for doing what I'm doing. I have 2 babies right now. Excellent. Yeah. The babies need to stay as babies. And you know what? If baby frilled dragons would stay as babies, I would have frilled dragons, but they grow up into big poop scattering monsters. So, oh yeah, babies are wonderful, wonderful. So we see, still waiting on my egg to hatch. Date is early September. Still white, but no signs of the egg getting bigger. And it may not, Alicia. It may not get bigger. But anyway, you look at the signs, and eventually it'll surprise you, just like mine surprised me on the air. Hey, Geraldine is here. Hey. And Nick, excellent. Roxanne says, where do I join? If you're talking about the professional baby breed, stay here. That's what I'm working on. It'll be a couple of years before I can establish this because it's kind of a straight, I'll call it a revolutionary idea. It's different. So just stay here. We're all doing it here. If you are here on the live, you will be You will be kept up to date on the live if you want to get kind of a little deeper into the workings of what's going on with the Chameleon Academy and the things we are learning and the things we are developing. Join the newsletter, Chameleon Academy newsletter, and you get to the really nitty gritty of it. Ooh, here's a meaty topic. Which is better, a 2x2x4 or a 36 by 36 by 18 screen cage? Both of them will work if you put, but really what's important is how high the basking branch is compared to your head. So I would actually, between these two, it's really a toss-up, but they're both effective as long as you see the perching branch up there? It's above my head. But chameleons stay in the top part of the cage. So a 36 by 18 by 36 would be a good cage. Just put it up high. And then the chameleon will be really happy. So jumping spiders and seahorses stay small. Stop you. Yeah. There's jumping spiders though. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. But seahorses, I love them, but the infrastructure required to do them right, woo, that's an investment. But maybe one day, maybe probably one day. Jumping spiders. Yeah, you got 4. That is awesome. What kinds? What species do you have? I'm learning my species of jumping spiders. So this will help me practice. What species do you have? And Verified says, hello, Verified. Wait, week and a half until Ma. I'm guessing that was cut off. Oh. Let's see. Speaking of babies, Cuervo's sibling Zor became a sire. Hey, Hyperdalis should have babies for sale later this year. So Cuervo's relatives. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I'm here. Hello, Eliza, and welcome. We're glad you're here. Treebeard pooped, and I got carried away and checking for parasites and lost track. That is one of the best excuses ever. We will accept that. We will accept that and hold you up as a model citizen. I'm here too, Eliza, but I'm driving, so I shouldn't be talking. Okay, yeah, James is here, but James, you be careful. You drive carefully and don't talk to us until you are ready. What is a jumping spider? Jumping spider is a spider. I don't know. You Google it. They're beautiful. They look like little miniature tarantulas, but they jump, and they're just small little things, and they make great pets. They are an incredible species. I need to get jumping spiders. 3 are regal jumping spiders, and 1 is from our backyard. Right. Yes, regal. That is a great species. I don't know many species, but I know that one. Oh, boy. Could be an alpine jumping spider. Okay. Oh, there we go. Week and a half until my male Bomi arrives. Excellent. That's exciting. Yes, and Eliza, please share your parasite. The results of your parasite check. Yes, and by the way, yes, they don't bite. So really fun to watch and eat and make incredible web hammocks. Yeah, there's so much personality in those little jumping spiders. So I actually got everything set up and was setting my alarm for the 10 minutes to wait and saw the time, so I haven't looked yet. Okay, everybody. Quiz time. Why is Eliza Ann waiting 10 minutes to do this fecal test? And so anybody can answer that question. Well, the reason why she's waiting 10 minutes is because for the fecal float, that's where you put the fecal matter in this collection tube. You agitate it, you get it mixed up in a special solution that allows the ova and oocysts and cysts to rise to the top. And you need to give 10 minutes. You put your slide on top, or your cover slip on top. for the longest time, I would actually put, for those who are doing this, I actually put my slide on top of the fecal collection tube instead of the cover slip. And I mean, it works just fine, but it's easier to do the cover slip. So yeah, I changed my ways. But then all the ova and oocysts, they collect on the cover slip on top. You just take the cover slip off after 10 minutes, put it on your slide. So it takes 10 minutes for that process to happen. So I tried to house an orb weaver once. It played dead, took back outside, and came back to life. Ha! Tricked you. Oh, yeah. And of course, we all know the orb weavers because when we walk outside at night, walk into those webs. That's an orb weaver, by the way. Don't freak out. They're fine. They're not going to get you. But it is surprising, shocking. But yeah, orb weavers are good. They're our friends. They're not going to bite you. Yeah. So jumping spiders being sold for $50. Yeah, well, they're becoming a big thing now. People are. I like the captive bred part of it. It is kind of fun. And Marcia keeps talking about the Georgia Bulldogs. So we got something's going on there. Bill, please show off your enclosures behind you. All right. This, let me see, I'll go over here. This here is the Dragon Strand tall screen cage. And in there is a shamrock chameleon way up top. And I'm actually doing an experiment with this. It's not going right now, but I'm experimenting with how we can get airflow and humidity together. And so I'm using this cage to do the experiment. And the great thing about this cage is it comes with these dragon ledges, which allow you to mount plants and branches up top. Comes with mounts for misting nozzles, even a mount for a fogger input, a solid back so you can, the spray goes and it hits the back and it doesn't hit your walls, and a drainage tray. Yeah, you'll see down there, there's actually a drainage tray that comes with a cage. So this is one of those all-in-one cage, and I actively upgrade this on a regular basis to meet our needs. This guy over here is just the start. It's a prototype of a new enclosure. And so you should be seeing this sometime next month. But this is what I'm going to be putting babies in. Well, one baby per enclosure. So, but really, really nice stuff. Howard, you're going to be seeing a whole lot more of that once I get them. I have got getting them set up in different ways. And so I'm having a lot of fun with that. So, just Google jumping spider. Usually don't like insects, but it kind of looks nice. Verified, they're so cute. They are so cute. Bill and I are going to have a visit. Yes, actually, me and James and Yvette Misty Mountain Fans, we are going to visit Matthew Gallup, who is a breeder of Bomi. But the jumping part freaks me out. They will jump on your hand. They will jump to you. So, and then they'll just hang out on your hand. These guys, they are just tame. They're not these wild things. So, and I'm really glad to see that we're getting more and more of an awareness about spiders. We're having more of an embrace of different critters from the animal kingdom that everybody used to be afraid of. So this is a positive direction that we're going in. I love it. Anybody speak emoji? But those look like happy emojis. Excellent. Excellent. I have a problem knowing that a veiled chameleon sells for the same price as. Oh yeah, chameleons should absolutely be so much more expensive. Veiled chameleons, it is is heartbreaking. It's a shame that they are down at $50. They need to be at a couple $100 at least. I finally got to see what you've got. A scorpion? What kind of scorpion you got? Roxanne, you need to share. What kind of scorpion do you have? Those are so cool. All right, we are talking. Hello, Bill. Go Buckeyes. Okay, we got a lot of sports people on here. Don't want anybody. Let's not start causing trouble. All right. Yeah. Stephanie Payne says, I'll be getting one next month. Excellent. Great news. I love it. Well, that's a great homework deal. Okay. I'm going through the chat here. Bill, I'm waiting to buy a Chameleon Academy cage from Custom Reptile Habitat until you come to. Oh, man. Two Turtle Tom, I will be up there as soon as they open. They have the store open. They just haven't done the grand opening. But all right, it's a deal. It's a deal. Two Turtle Tom's going to buy a Chameleon Academy cage from Custom Reptile Habitats when I come to open the store. All right. I need to encourage that. I need to encourage that grand opening. When is AnimalCon this year? It is October. I think the first weekend in October. But Howard, I'm not going to be able to come this week, this year. I am very heartbroken, but I'm not going to be able to make it. So I had to cancel out. I'm very sorry about that. By the time you read this, I'm out of the stream searching up jumping spiders. I'll probably be back. Okay. We just created a jumping spider enthusiast. Bill, with the airflow experiment, how do you envision that with the enclosures side by side to block vision of other chameleons? At this point, Nate, I just want to prove that. I mean, usually this, I need to fill up. Usually the experiment is that I'm running the fogger 24/7 in a screen cage in a room that has air conditioning, which of course reduces the humidity in the air. So the question is, with all of this air circulating, if I have this fogger on all the time, will that provide a constant microclimate that the shamrock will get into? This guy isn't taking to it, so I'm having to adjust my approach. He's still drinking when I missed, so he's not getting the hydration that I want him to get throughout the night hydration. If he gets the night hydration effectively, like the shamrocks that are in my hybrid cage, they get the fog at night. They're perfectly happy. They don't need to drink when I miss during the day. So that's how I'm measuring this, and so it's not working perfectly. So I'm still working on it, but that's as for and really, I'm not even going for the practical application of this just yet. I'm just proving out whether the concept works or not. If I can make the concept work, then I'll start working on the side by side and how to actually use it in reality. So still working on proving that it'll actually work in reality. Maybe it won't. Don't know. Still working on it. And guys, that's what this is all about. This is what moving husbandry forward is all about, is experimentation, figuring things out. I am having trouble finding stands that will allow drainage for my adult chameleon enclosures that will allow drainage the right size. Any suggestions? Alicia, which cages are you talking about? Like if you're talking about having a drain, a physical drain, then you may have to build your own cabinet. Go take a look at the DIY Chameleon guys. You may have to build your own cabinet. My dragon strands come with a tray, and the cage just sits on the tray, and then I suck out the water with a wet dry vac. And the reason why I do that is because if I sell a product that has its own drainage tray, they can put that cage anywhere in the house. They don't have to do any plumbing, any figure out where to put the bucket or any of that stuff. They can put it literally anywhere. And but if you've got one of these cages that doesn't have a drainage tray, yeah, you've got to figure something out. And on the DIY Chameleon guys, that's a YouTube series. We talk about drainage and cabinets and stuff a lot, because it's a nice big, it's a big issue for many people. So, yes, Sean exists. So, all right, going through all the chat. Hang with me. Let's see, we actually do run our foggers at a monitored rate 24/7 for our panthers, and they do not drink from drippers. They are in 100% screen enclosures. I do have to modify cages to hybrid. Yes, and Stephanie, panthers are probably are going to be easier to do that with than these. I picked a shamrock chameleon because they're like Parsons. They want a whole lot more moisture, and so I like to do tests with something like the shamrock, because panther chameleons and veiled chameleons they're like tanks, and doing experiments on panther chameleons and veiled chameleons, so much works with them that it's really hard to know if you've really discovered something, or they're just hanging on and saying do your worst. So that's why I'm doing this on a shamrock. But I'm glad if it's working on your panthers, perfect, because that way you get the humidity and you get the ventilation. It's a great situation, and I think it's a great approach that could work with veileds and panthers. I think it's a valid husbandry approach. So you've already tested it out. Yay, Stephanie. My Jackson's chameleon is a dark green and black. I've only been giving him crickets and water, but I don't understand why he isn't brighter colors. The only time brighter colors is when he is sleeping. Sam Lyon, there could be a number of reasons for this. The first thing, and I don't know your setup, but I'm just going to talk generally speaking. A lot of times it's because they're dark when they are cold, or it could be that there isn't a whole lot of light in the enclosure. Sometimes chameleons are dark when they have a small and poorly lit and poorly planted enclosure. So I would check to see if you go on chameleonacademy.com, and you can see there's a profile for Jackson's chameleons. Take a look at some of the cages there and compare the setup that you have with those cages, and see if you can notice any differences. And that's a valid way to start getting to the bottom of what might be going on. How old does my Zola have to be to lay her infertile eggs, and how often will she lay? If you're talking about a veiled chameleon, they can start anywhere at 6 months, 6 to 12 months. They may not do it. They generally do these laying of infertile clutches when they are overfed or overheated. But they don't have to do infertile clutches. It's not a given. And a number of us are working on ways to reliably keep them so they don't have infertile clutches. We're coming off of an era where it was very popular to keep veiled chameleons in hot circumstances, hot basking, upper 90s, and feeding them ad nauseum, because we had this idea that bigger is always better and is healthier. And with veiled chameleons, it's not the case. When they're overfed, they overproduce eggs, and they produce infertile clutches. And we've actually had, if you cut down on the food and make it so the cage isn't as hot, you can have a female go without laying infertile clutches. And so that would be the ideal husbandry, and we're working on how to do that reliably. We've kind of figured it out, but still working on making it so it works every time. Yeah. Let's see. Just taking advice from Ryan's okay. So I come in, that's in the middle of a conversation. I don't know. John Murdoch is got chameleons and beer here. Okay, that's acceptable. That's acceptable. James is home, so James can talk. Hey, all right. So, well, everybody, we have a topic that I've been working on that I've been wanting to talk about, and I'm going to be starting to write about it in the next newsletter. So if you're not part of the newsletter, sign up and you'll hear this. You can be part of this conversation. And if you want to get to the newsletter, just go to the chameleonacademy.com and you can sign up there. But I have been explaining cages and cage types as screen versus hybrid versus glass. And that is effective. It's been effective for many, many years, but it's starting to bother me because the real difference in the cage types is what kind of husbandry you provide for each cage type. And you provide a ventilated husbandry for screen cages. You provide a retained humidity and slightly retained heat for our standard hybrid cages. And the glass cages are like thermal insulation and humidity retention. And so I'm trying to change the way I present this for the cages to be split up as to what kind of husbandry. Case in point, cage behind me right here, the Dragon Strand tall screen cage. It's officially a hybrid cage because it's got a solid back. Solid back is there, so when the misters go on, it protects the back of protects the walls of my house, so the mist doesn't go through the cage. But it doesn't change the internal environment like a hybrid cage would. So this is, even though it's officially, technically a hybrid cage, it's got screen cage husbandry, ventilated cage husbandry. And so I'm going to start working on a way to explain the different cage types by the husbandry that you apply to them rather than the materials, because the glass cages are hybrid cages. But you have to have different husbandry for a glass cage than you do for our standard hybrid cages. And what about the hybrid cages that have a acrylic front and use chimney effect versus the ones that have a complete screen front? What's the difference there? And so if I start breaking it up as far as different husbandry approaches, I think I'm going to be more effective in communicating it. But I run the risk of overcomplicating it to the point where people just ignore it. So I am going to present this situation in this Thursday's newsletter. And so for those of you who are on the newsletter, could you please read through it and give me your thoughts? Every newsletter, I ask for feedback. And this one it's not just for community feedback. This is for feedback to help me present this in an effective way. And so I put a lot of thought into this. I'd really like to have your input, your perspective. How does it hit you? Did it make sense to you when you read it? And so I'm asking if you would please, those of you on the newsletter list, please give me some feedback on this one, because I'm working on a podcast episode that I will be able to incorporate the feedback that you give me. So I want this to be as effective as possible. So let's see. Bill, did you see Arcadia's creative workaround for their heat bulbs? They dropped the color temperature a bit and are selling them as colored incandescent bulbs, which are still allowed to be. I did not realize that's what they were doing. Okay, good for them. That is excellent. So, yeah, we've been having problems with this ban on certain kind of light bulbs, and we in the reptile community are trying to figure out how to keep our bulbs, because we got specialty bulbs. Yeah, so all sorts of little emojis going on here. Let's see. My current thing is working on with my Hunelli is lots of airflow in a hybrid. I have 4 fans going 18 hours a day for him. Yeah. And that's another way. Powered ventilation. Excellent. Excellent. Can I shower my chameleon if his eyes are dry? The thing is, that's not going to solve the problem. Although let's step back and say, why do you think his eyes are dry? How do you measure that? Are you seeing a behavior that you are interpreting as his eyes are dry? So that would be the important thing. If he's scratching it, wiping his eyes on his stick and stuff like that, that wouldn't be dry eyes. That would be something is irritating his eyes. So let me know, Spencer, what do you mean? Let's start off with, why do you think his eyes are dry? And then maybe we can get further into what's really going on here. My hybrid enclosures all have screen fronts. I'm able to maintain 94% humidity at night, so no reason to go with acrylic. Yep. If you can maintain that at night, there's no reason to go to acrylic doors. Me, on the other hand, I need those acrylic doors. I'll be glad when I am physically and deeply educated so I can give appropriate feedback that might be worthwhile. It's going to be a minute for me, Bill, but I love the newsletter. Alicia, you are actually the perfect person to give me feedback. I would like to know from you and people who are just starting off, is what I'm saying, does it make sense? Because all of these concepts that I am working with, I am specifically trying to make it so it's easy to understand for people who are just starting off. And so you are in a perfect position to give me the kind of feedback that I want. Did it make sense to someone who doesn't have background? Did it help you understand? Because, Alicia, it's people in your position that are going on social media and they're hearing things from Facebook groups saying chameleons need screen cages or they'll die. Things like glass cages cause respiratory infections. These things are incorrect, but you aren't going to be able to. I mean, it sounds reasonable with what they say, but they're incorrect. And you're not going to be able to recognize these incorrect things unless you understand all of the material, all of the reasons why they're saying it and the reasons why they're false. And that's what I'm trying to do. So please read it and then give me your feedback as to, did it make sense? Do you feel like you could go back to those Facebook groups and saying, I actually know it's that's not correct and this is why. And if I can empower you to do that, then I have done my job. And yeah, I mean, these concepts are not easy. So this is a challenge, and it's something I work on year after year after year. This message that I'm putting together is after, I mean, how many years have I been working on this message? I mean, actually, my first article on this topic was in the chameleonnews.com e-zine back in 2002. So I work on this constantly, and I'm always making the presentation better. I'm always working on how it can be understood. So it's a process. It's a process. And everybody's feedback. I love this newsletter because it gives me, the way I have it is I have the topic of the week is introduced in the newsletter before I finish the podcast episode. So I am actually able to listen to my newsletter audience and hear their feedback, and I can incorporate that into the podcast. And that makes a whole lot of, that helps so much, because now I know what people are thinking, and I present something And I do a good job in presenting these things, but it's always so much better when I hear what people have to say about it. And this gives me the opportunity to hear what people have to say about it before I launch the episode. So I'm really loving this way I've got it set up with the newsletter. And so please take advantage of that. Give me feedback. That's the way I make this effective, is when I hear back from you as to how effective it is. So how do I shower my veiled chameleon? You spray them with water 2 to 3 times a day. Is that correct? Don't shower your veiled chameleon. And I'd actually rather you have a better, and instead of spraying them with water 2 to 3 times a day, I spray the leaves and give nighttime hydration. I mean, I fog during the night. I mist during the in the early morning, so they wake up and there's dew all over the leaves, and that's a better way to hydrate your chameleon. And to really get into it, you'd have to go to chameleonacademy.com and read the section on hydration. Read the profile on veiled chameleons. This spraying them with water 2 to 3 times a day is what we've been is the standard way that we've been doing it like 20 years ago, and it's stuck. So a lot of people still do that, but we've come a great distance since then, and it's a little difficult getting the community to change. It's kind of like changing the direction of the Titanic, but you're here, so you've tapped into the latest in experimentation and hydration, and we've really come far with hydration. So check out the Chameleon Academy. When you hear us talk about nighttime hydration, the fogging at nighttime and the misting during the nighttime, that's what it's for. And so you don't have to spray them 2 to 3 times a day. Yeah. Justin's back. Eliza's back. Well, Eliza, does this mean we have results? I'll check in the chat to see if we've got results. Oh, guy, in the chat, we got a lot of people talking about the way they've changed their cages up to get some ventilation or retain humidity. Stay with you because I can follow you. I let a lot of this Facebook stuff roll off, and I feel bad for the newbie that doesn't have. Oh, Alicia, Facebook is such a very strange place. You get into these social media groups, and it's like there's fighting tribes. So yeah, I'm sorry for them as well. It's really difficult for people who that's how they learn about chameleons, but it's also a really easy gateway for people to come into the chameleon community. And I got to say, at least it's better than nothing. And once they get their feet under them, they can look around and find better ways of doing it. But you know, at least they get the basics. And I'm okay with halfway there. So let's see. He was scratching. Okay, this is the veiled chameleon that may have dry eye. He was scratching his eyes, and after a couple of days, his eyes became a more pale color and wrinkly. There isn't any visible debris in his eyes, and he's drinking water and eating just fine still. More pale color and wrinkly. Okay, is he shedding? Just question: is he shedding? Because when they start shedding, they will start scratch. They will rub themselves. And they'll get a pale color. So it sounds, I mean, you're describing him starting to shed, but I'm not, but you know, of course I'd have to see. Okay. The showering is not going to, is a traumatic way of dealing with a chameleon. It would be better to do anything you're going to do in the chameleon's cage. Give them a rain shower in the cage, but I don't think the rain shower, it's not going to help whatever it is that's going on here. If there is something in the eye, you know, they've got those big jelly sacks for the eyes, there may be something deep in there, and only a vet would be able to see it. So This is, I would look into what is going on. It sounds like there's something going on that you need to get to the bottom of in that chameleon, and it's not dry eyes. A shower's not going to help what's going on. Should I email them to Bill and see if he will pull them up to the community? Oh, you want to email me? Okay, go ahead. Let's see. We're all going to look at Eliza Ann's sample. Yeah, just go ahead, Eliza Ann, send it to this email address, and I'll pull it up. Yeah. Bill, is that the fogger in the background that dumped 4 liters of water on the floor? It's the same type. It's the same type, yes. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, RAHH1962. Appreciate your happy Labor Day. Do morning time mist and nighttime mist and all leaves, and he still seems dehydrated. Okay. It just means something is going on where you need to continue on. You don't talk about fogging. Misting at the nighttime does little because he's not there to drink it. If you want to do the nighttime hydration, that's got to be the fogging where he's got to breathe it in for hours on time at a time. What is nighttime hydration? Quick explanation. Okay, verified nighttime hydration is where we raise the humidity at night and they breathe in the humid air. And we've shown that if you do this, give them 100% humidity throughout the morning hours, like from 1 to 6, 12 to 6, they wake up hydrated. And so, we're still figuring that out, but that's been shown. I've shown it. James has done it. Sean McNeely's done it. We've done it with Parsons chameleons, babies. It seems to work. So let's see what's going on here. Eliza Ann has just sent a picture. Let's see if I can pull that up. All right, everybody. Does anybody see anything of interest here? I don't know. That doesn't look like a blood speck. Yes, it's red, but it doesn't look like the blood splotches that I've seen when I have blood in the stool. So interesting. How many of those did you see? Did you see that anywhere else? But I'll leave that for people to look at. I am not seeing any parasitic activity there. I recently fed carrots and sweet potatoes to my bugs. If you squish them, they have more oranges guts. It might be that too. That looks pretty red. Yeah. Yeah. I would see if you see more of that. Like when I see blood splotches in the fecal, it's more spread out. It's like someone took red paint and threw it on a canvas. Oh my God. I'll have to find a picture of it. So yeah, chameleons don't like to be sprayed directly. Okay, let's see. See, Eliza Ann has sent more pictures, and so I'm going to go ahead and pull up another picture, and we can see what we are. See if anybody can see anything. There we go. All right, see that the lighter red, that is more like, it's not exactly what I see, but that's more along the lines of having some blood. Now, having blood in the stool can be from a number of different things. And not all of them are to be worried about. So anyway, I'm going to leave that right here for people to take a look at. Yes, everybody, take a look and tell me if you see anything. Okay, Genevieve, we might see blood in the fecal if there are certain things that happen. Like if you have an infection of Entamoeba invadens, invadens just starts ravaging the intestinal wall. Maybe some blood comes out. If you have hookworms, hookworms will attach to the villi and they'll let blood flow through their body, and so blood will come out, would come out in the fecal. How much blood comes out, I don't know. Sometimes the fecal is just dry and it will rub the inside of the intestinal wall. So there's a number of reasons why blood comes out. Some of them are parasitic activity. Some of them are nothing, just normal life. And I don't know how to tell the difference between them, other than, excuse me, I'm not seeing hookworm ova. I'm not seeing cysts, although this looks, we'll probably need to get to a higher magnification to see cysts. So anyway. My chameleon used to have white things coming out of her nose, but now it's stopped. Should I be worried? Well, verify depending upon what those white things are. If it looks like salt, crusty around the nostrils, that's normal. That is normal. That's just purifying the water. Yeah, hit the like button, everybody. Definitely let YouTube know this is a good place to be. So I can't zoom in. Oh no. Here, we'll zoom in for Justin. That's as zoomed in as I can get there. We have to keep Bill's logarithms. Yes, that's right. Got to keep those algorithms up. So I would worry about Entamoeba invadens. He has had that in the past, and I'm not sure if that is a parasite that could live in other parts of the body and resurface again later. It's a parasite that can get into other parts of the body, but they can't reproduce once they're in those parts of the body. So we would be looking for cysts, and you would see those cysts at between 400 and 1,000 times magnification. So if you can get to that magnification, you can start seeing the cysts and the Coccidia oocysts, and you can check for Entamoeba invadens. Now, it's really hard to tell the difference between the different entamoebas. Some are dangerous, some are not. But if I have a sample that has a lot of Entamoeba, I don't worry about doing species identification. I say, okay, you're all out of there. Yeah, because Entamoeba invadens is so dangerous. And the reason why that's dangerous is because it'll actually attack the intestine wall. And if it gets into the bloodstream, it can start causing troubles in the liver. And even if it gets beyond the liver and keeps going through the bloodstream and it gets to the brain, it could cause death for the chameleon. It's not supposed to be up there, but it just causes havoc up there. So what would that rust color smudge be by chance? That's the lighter smudge, I'm willing to say, is blood. The concentrated one, it could be blood as well. It's just not what I usually see. So, yeah. Okay, the white thing coming out of your nose is not, it looks like salt. It does look kind of disgusting. Not sure. So we'd have to take a look at what it is. White things around the nose are usually those salt deposits or shed skin. So not sure what you're talking about. But disgusting doesn't sound good. Is it a worm? You could have a pentastome, maybe. I don't know. How do you use? Oh, Joanne, thank you very much. Appreciate the super sticker support. Thank you. How do you use a light meter when growing plants? Saw that in Level Up Your Care, but is there a video we can use how to use that in the enclosure? What Captain Wiggins is talking about is using a light meter that measures the lumens that are hitting a certain area. And so your plant wants X number of lumens, then you can take a meter and put it by the leaves of that plant, and you can see if that plant's getting enough food. Light is food. Yes, I should make a video on that. I should. So I'm going to put that on my list of things to do. It's a long list, but it's going to be on the list because that is something that we should do. Yeah. Regarding night hydration. In addition to early morning misting, I mist around 10 p.m. to increase humidity. Should I only be misting once in the early morning? First cage is part mesh. Richard, hey, Richard. For nighttime hydration, I do misting I do misting before I do fogging, because if I coat the area with water, the fog sticks more. And done, like if you get the fog coming out and it hits a dry surface, it bounces off. But if it's a wet surface, it kind of sticks around. And so that's why I do the misting at night. I don't do the misting for them to drink at night. Now, misting the area does increase the humidity, and so that's effective. And so I'd say go ahead, and I often will do a mist around 10 p.m. or somewhere like that, just to keep the area wet. And then I mist right before I start fogging at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I mist right before I'm done fogging. So I make sure that every surface is covered with water when they wake up. So that's what I do. And I say, go ahead, keep your 10 p.m. mist. I think that's a good thing. So Joanne's got to run. See you later. Only for when you run. Yes, I have no idea when I'll run out of topics. That's a wonderful thing about pushing Chameleon husbandry forward. You just never run out of things to do. We're going to be going into my 10th season next year. And 10th season of the podcast, not doing Chameleons. I've been doing Chameleons for decades, but of this Chameleon Academy outreach. 10th season next year. Whew, that's because we just don't run out of topics when we keep moving things forward. So, all right, everybody, it is time. It's time to say goodbye. It's been a wonderful Saturday afternoon, and I will see you on Tuesday. Now, remember, go to chameleonacademy.com, sign up for the newsletter so you can be part of the conversation. So give me feedback on these new concepts that I want to, or the new way of presenting these concepts. I've been presenting these concepts for many, many years, but I'm just not happy with it. I want to try it better. So if you can, sign up for the newsletter, be part of it. This Thursday is going to be the newest newsletter that'll have the topic that I'd like your input on. And I'd appreciate it if you joined me there and you helped me become a better chameleon educator. And that's what I want to be. So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me and being a great community. It's wonderful to be part of this. I'll see you next time.